Hello and welcome. This is our new project we're starting here. I'm excited to see what'll happen. We only really have one goal for this, is to share, to laugh, and to cry. Probably, hopefully, on camera and on audio. So to start this, we're titling it Three Losers in a Church, because that just seems the most fitting for the three of us. So we are. So, let's start by just naming these said losers. So I'm going to start. My name is Tyler. A fun fact about me, I went to culinary school in high school, learned vocationally how to cook. Do not ask me to cook for you. I will be very upset. I get that question a lot. Now, kind of just going on to a church front side of things, an area I've served in church is mostly background in administration and communication, kind of just leading the congregation outside of Sunday morning. Less during the Sunday morning, besides greeting, but more behind the scenes work. And it's been really good. I've been involved at a local church for a couple years now, and it's been really powerful. Now on kind of a more serious note, I want to both explain a reason why I think God exists, because I think that's a powerful way to start, but also I want to give a little short story about what made me the person I am today. So the story is kind of just this last year. I was a part of an intern team of 5 people at a local church. It was the largest intern team we'd ever had, but it was still really powerful. And kind of the relationships I grew out of that, Sam, who you'll meet in a couple minutes, was one of those guys. And kind of through that, I learned a lot about my religion, faith, and how I work as a person. So I know that's kind of a lame story, but I think it is probably one of the things that shaped me the most. And for reasons of one reason that kind of proves God to me, I know that's kind of an odd question, but I think it is kind of powerful to explain, is every morning we wake up and we have this sense that something is wrong in the world, that we don't really have everything together. We wake up every morning saying that something is wrong. The world is broken. And for all of humanity, we've realized and had this feeling that the world is broken. Yet nothing has changed. There was no point in time where the earth was healed or together. So I think just that feeling, knowing that feeling exists, is probably one of the most powerful reasons why I believe there's a different purpose in life, where there's a creator. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I kind of want to jump into Sam or Chris. One of you guys can jump in and kind of take over. So
Moi?
have the floor. Yeah, Chris, take it.
Sure. I'm Chris Hort. You can call me really anything. I get called everything. Any variation of those things. I'm currently a waiter. I went to school for music, so you can see the correlation. I'm from Eastern Mass, from a town called Rockland. Nobody knows where that is, though, so I don't bother saying that. It's near Boston. That's all you need to know. I've been involved I started at the church in the orchestra for a year, more of a small group than an orchestra. And from there, I was the classical music director for 4 years. I've been doing youth ministry for 3 years now, I think, which is horrifying. And it's not directly related to FBC, but I've also been involved in prison ministry through prison fellowship for the last year, which is something that's very important to me. So I guess I like to expand myself as far as ministry goes. And a short story that defines who I am today. Sheesh. I don't know. The story that a lot of people know about me is that I went through this horrible breakup post-college, and I was depressed for a few years, and basically getting involved in youth ministry kind of transformed my life and kind of got me out of some very bad places and got my life back on track. So I think that was a big defining moment for me. Yeah, and I think to answer the question about seeing God or proof to me that God exists, I see it in music, or rather hear it in music, I guess. Yeah, I can't explain it. I think you're both musicians to some extent, and I think anyone that wasn't supposed to be rude.
Sorry.
But anyone who's involved in music,
we get it. You have a degree, gosh.
Yeah, right. You peons. No, but anybody who's involved in music knows. I think you can't explain the feeling, but to me, that's God. It's God working through it. That's the way I hear God the most, through music in any capacity.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Musical degree. Okay, Chris. Hi. I don't know. I'm gonna just look at camera 3, but my name is Sam. I too was also one of the interns that Tyler talked about. I guess my name is. Wow, my name is Sam. Are we doing fun facts still? Is that a thing? I got a 9-inch scar on my leg. That was from fighting off bears when I was a wee little lad. I'm a pretty cool guy. Also, that was just a blatant lie. So I'm off to a great start right now. But
Lying
I'm
on
from.
day one.
I know, seriously.
Christian
It's
podcast.
on this Christian podcast. I'm from Newton, Massachusetts. So similarly to Chris, it's near Boston, but I also graduated from UMass Amherst, communications degree, and I've just been involved with the church for a while. Home church in Boston, and just did a lot of youth ministry over there as well. Served in high school and all that stuff. Hit college, did the same thing again. Also served along in youth ministry as well. So hitting 5 years now, which is crazy to me. That's weird. I met Tyler when he was in high school, so just nuts that we're in this room right now. And like Tyler said, I served alongside with him on the intern team as well, and that was also a blast as well. A short story that made you the person you are today, and I guess to kind of tie it up, I think my entire life in a nutshell. The idea that here I am out in Amherst in a place that I don't want to be at, a place that I had no intentions of coming to, and yet here's the journey. Here's all the people I'm meeting. Like I'm looking at this room right now. I think it's insane to think that a kid that I formerly was like a hub leader for, and then a hub co-leader, we're now in the same room just sharing about our faith, sharing about how we are here together. I think that in itself is an explanation of why God is here, to show just kind of like how our stories can intertwine and just show his glory as well. And I guess that kind of makes me who I am today. Just the idea of knowing that all these lives, all these things that we've done, whether I've been impacted by you guys or impacted your lives, that in itself just makes me the man I am today. So that's kind of why I'm here, I suppose.
I just realized I forgot to say where I was from. I'm from Western Mass, so Amherst, so where we are right now.
The true townie.
The true townie. We're all from Massachusetts, which is weird. Sam, give or take a little, but
That's true.
so yeah, I guess to like kind of go into the next thing, like why are we doing this? Why are we standing in a room, talking into microphones at a computer, looking at computer screens and cameras?
We're actually sitting.
We actually are sitting. You're right. But just kind of the reason behind us doing this, and when we kind of sat down, we came up with 5 or 6 different reasons mainly why we're doing this. And I don't want to list them out per se, but just kind of give some larger overview on that. So the first one is to share our stories. We think that through sharing our stories in ministry and life, hopefully something will come out of it. If not, it's a good way for us to kind of process what happened and process our life. This is not a complaining channel, even though you might feel like one at times.
It is kind of like a facet of life a lot of people I don't think about.
Sorry, what? Oh, just like the idea of like the church and everything?
Yeah, especially anyone who's not involved in a church. It's like, this is something that you would literally like never think about.
Because we've all been in, especially since looking at our track record too, we've all been in, we go to the same church right now, and we're involved in many ministries that intertwine and also overlap it. So I think that in itself, like you said, Chris, like that's also something that if we can share and even process that, that's pretty dope, right? I mean, was it Chris who said that? Whose idea was this again? Like, what was how we start? I actually don't remember how we started this up. It was.
I think it was technically my idea, but like
Chris'
we had
idea.
talked about it like a year ago.
Okay.
Did we?
Sorta, when we
Don't
were listening to
remember
that ex-youth pastors podcast.
Don't remember that happening.
It might have been one of those, we should start a podcast, and then it never happened.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That in itself is a testimony to just like how I can't believe I'm sitting here like making a podcast with you guys. I'm not saying no offense to you guys. I love you guys to death, but it's just like what the heck? Like
These guys.
you worked in media like for the church and everything, and like you're also into sound as well. And then you were both choir director. You did orchestra ministry, then you're hub, and you're also still very you work hard with the worship team, and then
I forgot about that.
yeah,
I play bass.
yeah, you play bass, bro. And then like I'm over here just like making videos and everything, just to see like all our skills lining up. Like that's crazy. I can't get over that. Also, can we give a shout out to Adam Page right now?
Boop, 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 boop,
I mean we can't really
He's off
show
camera.
the cameras, but he's off camera. He's doing our sound right now.
I know.
He is suffering as he hears in his IEMs and adjusting as we go on an iPad. So it's kind of a dope setup. But yeah, it's just, yeah, that's crazy just to think that we're here just talking about this.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it also goes to show like all of us have very different stories in life. Not to
Yeah.
just be the guy, but like we all have very different stories on like our Christian faith, but also just like life in general. And how somehow the three of us get along and can sit in a room and share that is beyond me. But I think it's super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also very, I mean, just to hit the point that you just said, we're all very different too, right?
Mhm.
Like, well, I've been a Christian since I was born. My my old man's a Christian. I mean, he's a pastor. What am I saying? Sorry, Dad.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
And you, on the other hand, you are on track on seminary to be a pastor as well, or
Right.
something of the sort. Like, you're going to be working in ministry long term. And then, Tyler, you grew up in this church as well, and then you've also worked very closely. Like, also, I'm Asian.
You are.
I went,
yes.
to I went to an
I
Asian
agree.
church too. And then what was First Baptist like where you came to faith, Chris?
No, I think it's where my faith became more genuine.
Mhm.
I grew up in a Christian home and never really questioned it too much, but I also didn't take it too seriously, I think.
Mm.
I think that's why post college was such a rough time for me because
Yeah.
I was going towards God or he was coming towards me, and yet I was not taking it very seriously. I was not walking alongside God in the slightest in a lot of ways. So it's where I think my faith became real and I actually learned what I believe, you know.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of like lifestyle, like not lifestyle. Sorry, like like timeline of life, right? Age,
Yeah.
I guess, is what you could
Oh,
say.
Yeah, I'm
that's
old.
so
Dude, I was really
true.
struggling with that for some reason.
How do you say it? Yeah.
So I'm the youngest by 9 years. So Chris is 9 years older than I am. I don't
Almost
want to
a
make him
decade.
sad. Almost a decade.
Oof, thank you. Yeah, I was working with my. I'm in my work uniform. I like the 3 servers today where none of them were even 20. I was like, dude, I'm old. I'm like babysitting right now.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so I mean, Chris being 28, me being 19, Sam's 23
Yeah,
still.
wow.
Jordan year.
Jordan year. Yes.
But so like even that in itself,
Mm.
like there's a lot of time, very different like upbringing and that kind of stuff. But I think that like is a testament to a lot of things of like we are so different yet here we are doing this.
Yeah.
Partially because we're also weird, but I think there's also something behind that, right?
No, of course, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, this is happening. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
I'm just like, we're actually like doing this. Wow. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird, you know. Sam and I were setting up for this yesterday, and hadn't really like hit me yet until we were, you know, like goofing around pre-setup and like being goons, and then like we sat down and started doing this, and it was a rough start, but here we are.
I
We're
mean,
doing
Chris
We're
went to
here.
go take a dump.
Yeah,
I
like,
put on socks because I didn't want to show my feet.
The only podcast I've ever watched also is the H3 podcast.
Mm.
So I have like a weird idea of like podcasts because
Yeah.
H3 is weird.
That makes sense. I don't really, yeah. It's funny. I actually don't listen to podcasts that much because I fall asleep every time I like listen to.
You're really selling it. You're really
I'm
selling
so
it.
sorry.
I'll soothe you to
Listeners,
sleep.
if you want to go to sleep,
Right.
tune in.
Oh my
FBC
goodness.
ASMR.
Why? Why?
Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh. So, yeah,
We can
What-
get back on track here.
back on track.
That was a big tangent. Helpful. We learned a lot. It was a tangent.
This is
We went
podcast.
places.
This is podcasting,
This
though.
is our life now. So back on to kind of like the reasons why we're doing this. I think one of the larger ones is in our ways we are all involved in ministry in some way, shape, or form. Sam and I did it, I guess, vocationally for a year, you could say. We're embarking on who knows what next year looks like. But kind of like through that, like the inside scoop, either like vocational ministry or also just kind of like serving in a church. So what those two worlds look like versus each other or kind of together. But yeah, and like the large one, as our tangent just showed, like is to have fun, right? Process life and to be goons on camera.
Sorry, I was just clearing my throat because I have coffee stuck in my throat.
Scene. But yeah, and like, so I think the kind of one of the last things before I'm sure we go off on another tangent is like, what is our end goal of this, right? Why would we sit in a room and do this? Partially because it is fun and ridiculous, but also our goal is to kind of like show Christ's love and faithfulness through our stories, through our struggles, through kind of things we've been through. Yeah, and if we can like show anybody anything, is that 3 goons can be entrusted with a lot of stuff to do. 3 losers, sorry,
Three losers.
Three
goons / losers. Yeah, and just kind of the gifts we're given and how we steward those, I guess.
And it's, to me, that's important because like you see like a pastor up there like preaching, and you think he's got his whole life together. He's perfect, you know. He's got good speaking skills. He's got a wife, kids, probably a job, house, dog. You know, he's living the dream. But like you don't see the dirt. You know, you don't see the, I don't know. And that's not really the place to be super vulnerable in a lot of ways either. But like I think it's cool to see the human messy side of like doing things.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, not to, I think for the sake of the podcast, to remain anonymous and also just to just keep our story, like share stories, but also respect the people and the churches that we're a part of. But we're all about to embark on probably what I would argue a huge journey.
Yeah.
Heck, I just got a text message from a pastor who was talking about decision making by next Tuesday. So I'm over here. I'm horrified. I'm like, oh, I don't even know where my life's going to take me.
Yeah.
Why am I still in this valley? Why have I not gone home? I don't know. But hey, I'm here making a podcast, so that's kind of dope. Oh, yeah, I'm unemployed. So unlike Chris and then Tyler, who's a student, once I finish my intern year, I don't have a job right now. So who knows where we're going to be on this journey of this podcast. Maybe things will change. Maybe things won't. But, I'm scared, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think, to speak for all 3 of us, because I like doing that, but like all 3 of us are going through a lot of transitions immediately, right? Like, so I'm embarking on school, part-time, potentially the rest of my life, right? Like a new part-time job, all kinds of stuff like that. Chris is going to seminary and serving at our local church, and Sam is literally in transition between things, trying to figure out what is the best call for him. And I think kind of just like that confusion and lost is, you know, shows how.
Not to mention all the like little transitions you go through every day, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Bro, you just moved this past week too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah,
3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago. Fastest move I've ever had. I woke up that morning not knowing when I was gonna move, and by 6 p.m. I was like in a new house.
crazy stuff.
I'm gonna
We're also
say,
just damn good at moving.
yeah,
True.
darn good at
Darn
moving.
Darn good. Sorry, the Christian podcast. Oh, that's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, no, it was like it was record hot day in a house with no air conditioning, moving Chris. Sam, myself, I think Thomas was there too.
He did show up eventually.
Yeah, I almost said
that was
Adam.
nice.
Adam wasn't there.
Yeah. Freaking Adam was working. He makes the most money out of all of us.
Yeah, too real.
Give me some money.
17 years old and making 15 an hour at a collision. Oh my, I can't. That's not fair. Life's not fair.
Life is not
Life's dumb.
freaking fair.
Life is
Life is dumb. This is gonna mean a lot of editing out right now.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Gang, gang.
Yeah.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang,
Gucci gang.
Oh, man.
That was weird.
we got to get Lil Pump on our podcast.
Did you hear Kanye announce that he's a born again Christian?
Really? I thought that
Kanye
was already
West.
like. I thought he was implying that.
Oh, I have no idea. I saw some. So I curate. I'm just flexing now. I curate a Christian playlist on Spotify with 10,000 more followers, and I got asked. People ask me if they can put their songs on my playlist because algorithm stuff like that. Complete accident how I got that many followers. It just happened. But I follow this guy on. I friend him on Facebook. His name's Joe from Australia. So he messages me occasionally, "Oh, Sam, my American Christian friend, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, Joe, my Australian Christian friend, how are you doing?" But he was the one who posted that. That was just such a long-winded, like, self-absorbed way just to say Kanye's a born-again Christian. But let's get Kanye on our podcast someday.
Yeah, that could be either good or horrible. I don't really know.
I think he's kind of nuts.
I think that might be true. I still love that song he dropped.
The poopity scoop.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it. I still listen to it sometimes.
Christian podcast
Christian podcast.
about Kanye West.
Poopity scoop dog.
Poopity scoop dog.
What's our time? What's our recording time right now, Adam?
We're at 689 measures.
689 measures. Okay. I've played symphonies that are longer than that. So
How many measures? How does measures convert into minutes?
Depends on the BPM.
120 BPM.
Oh.
So we're at like 20 something minutes. 25
I mean,
minutes.
if I could do some quick math. I believe
Wow.
you.
Wait, wow! I'm so impressed.
120 BPM, Stars and Stripes Forever. Greatest piece of music ever written, just saying.
Okay. I'm going to moisten my mouth,
Ew.
and then we can do the outro.
Okay.
Editing this is going to be fun.
Oh gosh.
Where are we watching this?
Oh
YouTube?
yeah.
What do we get? What information are we providing? YouTube?
Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, I think that's the summary of where we're starting, right?
Yeah.
And we can determine the length.
Yeah.
If we're at 20 minutes now, that's actually pretty good because
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I-
garbage we're editing out.
I think
Yeah.
we're like a little over, but not a lot over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a clock
Yeah.
eventually for a countdown.
Yeah.
I mean, at this rate, if this is the start, like we're just gonna keep. Hopefully, we keep improving. Whether it be
You'd like to
setup,
think so.
yeah. Whether it be setup, whether it be just like timing, scheduling, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Okay.
bear with us for now.
The amount of B-roll coming out of this episode,
Oh, yeah.
unreal. You know, if I make eye contact with a camera, it's gonna be B-roll.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't really know where to look, so I'm just looking at you.
I mean, this is a conversation just
I'm just going to
happening.
stare.
B-roll. B-roll. B-roll.
What's our outro?
I'm sorry, that was horrendous.
I have to edit this later.
Yes, you do. I have to listen to this again and figure that out.
I hate hearing my own voice.
Yeah, bro, it's gonna be a venture, but I'll probably do most of it tonight. Cute.
Oh gosh.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh yes, YouTube.
The website. What's our YouTube channel name?
3 losers in a church.
Okay.
Number
So
3.
that's what you search. The numeral 3.
All right.
Hopefully, we'll figure that out. at
Yes.
some point. You'll
Well-
find you'll find the information
we'll-
down below.
We'll post it
Yes.
after we make the website,
Yeah.
the YouTube channel, whatever the word is.
Bing.
I got a new notification noise. Oh, Amazon Echo. Wow, thanks. See if I get any texts
We can
over
get
there
Alexa on our podcast.
on the big screen.
Oh gosh.
I think it has an. Anyways, all right, let's do this outro so we can finish. Oh. Chris,
Tyler.
so now that we're watching this, right? Like, where can they find us? Where can our listeners / viewers see/hear us?
On the YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. 3 Losers in a Church is the name of our channel.
Yes. So if you want to see us be goons again, or you want to know when we're going to be goons again, go to their YouTube channel, 3 Losers in a Church. That's the number 3. And check it out. Hopefully we will eventually get on the podcast app so you can listen to us only, which I don't know if that's better or worse, but hopefully when we'll get that going, we're going to start that process as soon as this is uploaded. So thank you guys for listening. We had fun. I hope you did. If not, you probably closed this a couple minutes ago. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, well, I'm really excited. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
This is episode 1. We got hopefully more than one more to go. Yeah. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, things are looking up.
Yeah,
Indeed.
something's going to happen.
Hopefully.
Whether it's good or bad, I couldn't tell you, but something will happen. All right,
Till next time.
till next time.
We out.
We out. Okay.
Okay.
See if any of these things.
Imagine if it just didn't record.
Oh, this had no battery.
I was joking.